Our talk today is, I should say, more than a talk. Our presentation is called A Small Village with Three Theaters. I'm sure most of you are acquainted with them in some form or another, but we have representatives today from each theater who will talk to us about what's special, maybe a little bit of history so we're better informed, what's unique about their particular theater. We have Peter Luciano, president of the Lakeside Little Theater, Jim Lloyd on the board of the Naked Stage, and Jayme Littlejohn, who founded and is the owner of the Bravo Theater and producer of My How Nice Productions. So the presenters decided among themselves, we will take the oldest theater first, and that is the Lakeside Little Theater. So Peter, his career included many years as a management, labor relations, and organization development consultant. His later career was spent as a healthcare executive, including serving as a hospital CEO and multi-hospital systems senior vice president. In retirement, he brings his leadership and management skills to his role as president of Lakeside Little Theater, where he has built on the strength of the theater's 50-year history. He's a full-time resident of Ajijic.
Is this working?
Yes.
Okay. No? I'm not hearing it either. Thank you. You want more name. There you go. Thank you. But it did. That's for the people I'm in immersion with this week. When Margaret first extended the invitation to speak today and said the theme was what differentiates the three theaters in town, the Lakeside Little Theater, Naked Stage, and Bravo Theater, my first reaction was, what difference? I was just dumbfounded, because when it comes to the people, if I can think of two exceptions, it's all the same people that work at acting Lakeside Little Theater and Naked Stage. And it's true. And the two people who don't say they don't want to do community theater, and we're happy not to have them. So, it is the same folks involved. There are, of course, major differences between the three theaters, and because we're all competing for the limited entertainment dollar, there is a dynamic tension between the theaters. There is a competition of sorts. However, notwithstanding those dynamics, the relationship between the three of us is really characterized by collaboration and communication to an extent you wouldn't believe. I know my board of directors is very sensitive to the undeniable fact we at Lakeside Little Theater are the 800-pound gorilla. We're the oldest and biggest theater in town. And because of that, the board tries very hard not to dominate or overshadow our friends in the other theaters. As a result, there's significant coordination so as to avoid scheduling conflicts in production, and to be very sensitive to the competing schedules of our volunteers, because by and large, they're the same people. So we try to watch out for that. Just one example of our collaboration happened last year. The Naked Stage, our friends there, had their database destroyed through some technical glitch, and they lost all their information. We were able to work with them and reconstruct that database, because they're friends, and we want them to be successful. All in all, I think the level of cooperation would surprise outsiders who naturally see us as competitors. However, we are very different organizations. Let me describe the organization I'm so proud of, and that's Lakeside Little Theater. We are, as Margaret said, the oldest English-speaking theater in Mexico, having just celebrated our 50th anniversary on June 15th of this year. Who could have imagined when they did their first play at the train station in Chapala that it would end up where it is today and where we're going, which is even more exciting. In terms of organization and structure, we are a private, not-for-profit enterprise with primary members of the board elected by the membership. Several other specialty board positions are appointed by me as president. We're blessed to have a board of directors that are, in fact, content experts in what they do and are very good business professionals. As a result, the theater thrives. Our mission is to provide theatrical entertainment to the residents and visitors of Lakeside community and to nurture and develop existing and new talent in every aspect of the performing arts, technical support areas, and to maintain and preserve the theater facility and its properties. We have a membership of approximately 784 members. It's a very active membership when you consider of 784 members, we have 386 who actively volunteer in some capacity, either as actors or directors or in support staff. We require open auditions for all of our performances as a way of encouraging and welcoming people without experience to read for parts. In fact, often individuals with no experience are selected, and they demonstrate ultimately a remarkable, unrealized talent. There are quite a few people in this audience, including myself, who couldn't spell theater before they moved to Ajijic. And they've had the opportunity, thanks to the direction of some great directors here, to learn to act and to sing and to dance, and you name it. I'll talk more about that in a minute. Our plays are selected each year by a volunteer 7-member play reading committee that changes each year so as to reflect the membership's preferences for plays. Plays may be submitted by directors who would like to direct them, but any member of the theater is welcome to submit plays for consideration for an upcoming season. The theater also provides part-time employment to 5 Mexican nationals who are integral to the success of the organization. We are without peer in Ajijic in terms of our facilities and resources. We have a 112-seat main auditorium with permanently installed theater seating. We have a 30-seat, newly renovated, multi-purpose facility that serves as a small theater in the round, a rehearsal hall, and dance studio, also with permanently installed theater seating. We have a fully equipped property, wardrobe, makeup, and wig department. We have a fully equipped set design and construction workshop, a full-service bar, a theater library containing over 700 acting editions of plays, 250 anthologies and one-act collections, 100 books on acting and theater production, and 125 musicals and musical scores. We now, this year, have large screen projection capability. We have reverse projection capability to enhance set design. And we have a revolving stage and our own on-site parking. The Board of Directors takes very seriously the responsibility to ensure the maintenance of the facility and property. This year alone, we have renovated the main auditorium, the lobby, in the process of being finished in the next week or two, the front entrance, the sound system, the theatrical lighting. We've installed first-class projection capabilities this year. We've created the theater to solar energy this year, and thanks to the generosity of member Margot Everly, the entire landscaping of the theater, both front and back, are being redone as we speak. Our board is also sensitive to the economic realities facing our largely retired membership and the many needs of our community. To that end, we continue to offer discounted season ticket packages for our regular season plays. We offer full membership in the theater for only 100 Mexican pesos, a fee that hasn't changed in living memory. We have reduced the price of our tickets this year from 225 pesos to 200 pesos. And we're giving a portion of proceeds of season 51's plays to the following charities: Love and Action Center, the Lakeside School for Special Children, Niños Incapacitados del Lago, Operation Compassion Ministries, Hope House, and La Ola Casa Hogar. We offer the full range of theatrical offerings, including dramas, comedies, musicals, farces, pantomimes, plus some new innovations this past year. Our typical season consists of 6 2-act plays. However, because of technology, we're able to offer entertainment opportunities the founders could not have even considered or envisioned 50 years ago. Our innovations this year alone include the start of National Theatre live from London and Broadway. Like a lot of things that happen in life, this happened quite accidentally, but one of you was in London last year and was at the National Theatre and found that they export their product through video technology. I got an email to that effect. Within 24 hours, I'm on the phone to London, and what to our wandering eyes should appear, after a little bit of negotiating back and forth, last year from London and from Broadway, president of the Dog in the Nighttime, Frankenstein, A Small Family Business, King Lear of Mice and Men and Treasure Island, and next month in August, we'll have George Bernard Shaw's Man and Superman, all with the highest quality theatrical entertainment the world can offer from London and from Broadway. Another innovation this year is going to happen this week. Again, through fate, a woman in the Tianguis handed me a DVD one day and said, "Here, make of this what you will." She happened to be an investor in a movie. The movie turned out to be The Wrecking Crew. If you're not familiar with The Wrecking Crew, it is the LA studio musician group that, if you've ever heard the Beach Boys, the Eagles, Sonny and Cher, the Fifth Dimension, Frank Sinatra, help me, who am I forgetting? Virtually anybody you ever heard on an album that was produced out of the West Coast, you were not listening to the band. You were listening to the Wrecking Crew. Brian Wilson, the Beach Boys, used to tell his band, "Leave your instruments at home, these guys are better than we are." And then they would play on the album and teach the band how to play out on the road. This film, The Wrecking Crew, is a documentary about that almost 30-year experience of these people. We're blessed to be able to have that movie, the Mexican premiere of that movie, occur at the theater next week. And we're also gifted to have the director of the movie coming to Ajijic to lecture and do a Q&A about the film. So that's just another example of what technology and luck can bring. We've had other innovations this year. We've implemented something called Members Nights. We've got some terrific talent here at Ajijic, professional talent from the world of entertainment. And a number of nights this past year, and we'll continue this practice, we've had those professionals do an evening performance for our membership free of charge. And they've been wildly successful. Every one of them sold out, even though they're free. There wasn't enough. Free is good. We implemented something called the Actor Studio, modeled after the New York experience, but that's a series of ongoing acting workshops to develop on-stage skills. And again, talk about it all being the same family. Jayme has run some of those, okay, as has others. We implemented, I think for the first time, the Lakeside Children's Theater this year. In fact, in cooperation with Lake Chapala Society's Children's Arts Program, involving the local kids, the first children's theater performance will be held later in July, our first. And we are working with the Auditorio Nacional in Mexico City to negotiate with other entertainment properties to get them here to Ajijic. Most notably, we're working on the New York Metropolitan Opera, as well as several others. I've saved the best for last, and that's our volunteers. One of the true gifts this theater enjoys is that some of our volunteers, as I mentioned, are professionals from the world of entertainment. Not only does that enhance the quality of our presentations because of their professional performances or technical skills, but it also provides a remarkable training opportunity for those of us who were or are new to the many roles in the theater. Imagine learning to run sound, the soundboard in the technical booth, sitting next to Jim Jacks, a career Hollywood sound engineer. Imagine learning dance steps and choreography from former June Taylor dancer and Rockette, Barbara Clippinger. Imagine acting on stage with professional actors like Chicago's Kathleen Carlson, Bravo Theater's own Jayme Littlejohn, Canadian actor Diana Rowland, film and television actor and singer Ken Bridges, and career stage actor Roger Larson. Imagine working on a production team with the Rockford Files, Bob Jones. And finally, imagine trying your hand at acting under the guidance of a professional director like director, actress, comedian Peggy Lord Chilton, or Canada's Paul Klugman. It's all a blast. And it's no wonder that almost half our membership is actively involved in some capacity. In closing, Margaret asked me not to sell anything. We're not permitted to do that up front. So I won't if I didn't already. But what I do want to do is this. I want you to encourage you to join and become involved in the theater. We have technical positions in lighting and sound for folks with moderate computer skills. We have skilled positions in construction, painting, makeup, wardrobe coordination, costume construction, seamstresses, hair, wig styling, business operations, including box office and bar sales, as well as greeters, ushers, and of course, theatrical skill opportunities in acting, singing, dancing, and much, much more directions stage management, you name it. We routinely run workshops and apprentice programs, so don't be timid, as we don't allow novices to fail. Open auditions are routinely announced in the Guadalajara Reporter Forelook, so look for them and take a risk and come see what we wrote up. It'll probably be the first time in your life that you paid 100 Mexican pesos for the opportunity to work so hard. I promise you it will be one of the most rewarding and fun endeavors of your entire life. So come join us.
I learned so much. I can hardly believe what I didn't know. Our next speaker will be Jayme Lloyd, who will represent the naked stage. He's always been interested in theater, he says, and upon moving to Ajijic in 1998, he immediately became involved with the Lakeside Little Theater. He's acted in numerous productions as well as serving on the board for 3 years and as a member of the reading committee. When the Naked Stage was founded in 2009, he was asked by its founder, Jayme Littlejohn, to be a member of the board, and he has been a member ever since. He has been both director and actor for several of the readings. Let's welcome Jayme Lloyd.
Thank you, Margaret. Can you all hear me? Yeah. I would like to take this time to thank the Open Circle for inviting me and the others to talk about theater here at Lakeside. The Readers Theater was a long-time dream of Jayme Littlejohn's. So, along with Betty Lloyd Robinson, they created now what is called the Naked Stage, a minimalistic theater. And I'll get to that later, what that really means. Their purpose was to present to the community readings of meaningful plays that may or may not be done by other theater groups in the area. The readings would be both comedies and dramas, old and new. So in 2009 of August, they formed a small committee. Liz White is the only remaining member of the original committee, along with Jayme Littlejohn. And Betty Lloyd Robinson has moved back to Florida, where she is very, very much involved in community theater. As Margaret mentioned, I was asked by Jayme to be a member of the committee in October of 2009. One is invited to be a member of the committee, of which there is no designated time as to how long one can serve. Oh. At times, you say, that's enough, no more. And then they say, no, please stay on. Oh, okay, for another, who knows how long. Every member of the committee has a particular job. At the present time, our committee members are Liz White, Diana Rowland, Barbara Clippinger, Colette Clavadetcher, Graham Miller, and myself. And as you'll notice, as Peter said, these people are also all involved at Lakeside Little Theater. Jayme is an honorary member at this time. I don't know if any of you remember the beginnings of the Readers Theater, but the theater took place on the terrace of Betty Lloyd Robinson's rented house on Zaragoza, just off of Cologne. And everyone kind of enjoyed this sort of outdoor setting with a canvas over the top of this and everything. And everything would go fine until it got hot. And of course the canvas just made it even hotter. or when it got too cold. Well, after a while, the owners of the property said that we would have to move on because of insurance problems. And so that meant that we quickly had to find another place for our theater. And we found a building behind, it's kind of behind, to the side of El Barco Restaurant and Bar. Well, after a year, we found that this was not a good place to have a theater. First of all, we had the bar, people talking there. We had a lumber yard over on this side. And worst of all, the owner of El Barco lived right behind the theater stage and had parties. And here were mariachi bands playing, and we are yelling at the top of our voices to be heard. So once again, we had to move on and find a new place. In March 2011, we rented 3 adjoining rooms at Sol de Luna behind Danielle's restaurant, and we have been there ever since. One room is our theater, which seats 70 persons. The second is a green room, where the actors wait before they go on stage. And the third room is a storage room for our chairs, our cushions. We have a library in there where we are able to keep our plays. Since moving to our present location, we have made improvements such as adding 2 new ceiling fans, new lights, new chairs and cushions, a sign. Actually we have 2 signs, one outside of the building and one at the entrance into our little theater. We have also painted the interior and exterior of our theater. Since September 2009, Reader's Theater has produced 67 readings, which includes this month's reading, Sylvia, by A.R. Gurney, and is going to be directed by Liz White. And I just have to put this in. I'm playing the part of Ray, who is in love with Sylvia. And if you don't know who Sylvia is, it's a dog. There have only been 2 months when we have been in the dark. That means 2 months when we didn't have readings, and that was due to the reason of having to move to a different theater site. Now, what is it that makes the Naked Stage different from the other theaters at Lakeside? I mean, we have a stage, just like the other theaters, but we don't use scenery. The actors wear basic black rather than wearing costumes. Also, props aren't used. There is no action per se, as the readers sit on high stools with their scripts on music stands in front of them. And one nice thing, there are usually only 6 to 4 rehearsals before a performance. The actors are not encouraged to learn or memorize their lines. Because remember, this is Reader's Theater. You know, I love Reader's Theater because of the short time of rehearsals, and you don't have to learn lines. Because most of us are growing a little bit older, and it's a little harder for lines to stick up here in your brain. Usually there is a narrator, and the narrator is the one who describes the action that is taking place. Now, there is one time where costumes or some type of a symbol of a costume and properties can be used, and that is the December production. And the December production, the roles are played by the members of the committee. Now, if there are more roles than we have committee members, then we invite or audition people to take those roles. This year, our December reading is not going to be in December. It's going to be January 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. And the reason for this is that December 25th is a Friday, and that is our opening day. And we felt that more people would stay home on Christmas Day than they might on New Year's. I'm very happy also to announce that I'm going to be directing the December reading, and it's going to be Oscar Wilde's The Importance of Being Earnest. I think most all of you know the show and probably have seen it several times too. There will be a January reading at the end of the month. Now, one nice thing about the December reading, again, I announce it's the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd of January, is that the committee provides a complimentary glass of wine and hors d'oeuvres after each performance. And I've seen some of the members, I shouldn't say members, members of the audience going up for a 2nd and 3rd glass of wine too. Our production dates are usually the last Friday, Saturday, and Sunday of each month, though this changes from time to time because of dates not fitting in with the days of production. But they are always on a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at 4 p.m. Now you may ask, how are the plays chosen? Well, the committee discusses at every monthly meeting the titles of plays that we might want to consider. And then when the committee is in agreement, the plays are ordered and several copies are printed so members of the committee can read them. If we find the play appropriate, we set it aside to be used in the future. We also suggest our chosen plays to directors who may not have a play in mind that they would like to direct. Directors may also submit a play, but the committee has to read it first and say yes or no as to whether it can be produced at the naked stage. When a director is chosen, he or she is given guidelines of what can be done or what cannot be done. One guideline is that the readings are limited to 90 minutes, which means each act is approximately 45 minutes long. So this means that in most cases, the director has to cut the play to fit into this time frame. Sometimes, with the consent of the committee, the timeline can be extended for a few minutes. Now, the 90 minutes does not include the 20-minute intermission between Act 1 and Act 2. Each actor is encouraged to hold auditions, though it is permitted for directors to pre-cast their readings. When auditions are held, they are announced in the Guadalajara Reporter and by the way of the Naked Stage newsletter. The date, the time, and the place is announced. And usually, the auditions take place at the theater. There's also a monthly newsletter of which I am the editor. And the newsletter includes information about the upcoming play, a picture of the cast and the director, a description of the play, and information about the author and a short bio of the director. And also, I usually include an article that deals with some aspect of the theater. The July newsletter, which just came out, is the 2015 Tony Award issue. Now, if you're not on the mailing list and would like to be on the mailing list, there's a form right over there by the bulletin board for your name and your email address, and it says, please print. Please print. We get some, I mean, it's like a foreign language. I can't even decipher it. So print as neatly as you can. The committee is also very encouraged by the large turnout for the readings. Every year it gets a little larger, a little larger, and a little larger. I remember when we first started out on a Friday, we would have a scattering of people, not many at all. On Saturday, just a few more, and then on Sunday, a few more. And sometimes, not often, but we might even be sold out. But now, on a Friday, we are almost always sold out. Saturdays and Sundays, we are usually always sold out. So we encourage you to make reservations. I only have that much more. Okay?
Talk faster.
The one thing that I would like to say is the Naked Stage supports the community by donating 20% of its year-end net proceeds to Cruz Roja. You know, you may think that people just reading roles would be rather boring, but many of our actors are able to bring their characters to life and create laughter and tears. For instance, several seasons ago, I directed A Normal Heart, a play about AIDS by Larry Kramer. And a member of our audience was so moved that he created Ajijic, which is an AIDS support group for young people in our Lakeside community. If you have not been to a production of The Naked Stage, I would like to take this time to invite you. I think you'll enjoy it. Thank you.
I can guarantee you'll enjoy it. I never miss. And I started back there in Betty Robinson's backyard. It's always wonderful. Our next speaker is Jayme Littlejohn, the speeder. She's founder and owner of the Bravo Theater and producer of My How Nice Productions. She received her theatrical training at the University of Minnesota and the Tony Award-winning Children's Theater of Minneapolis. She studied dance at the Merce Cunningham Studio in New York City, been acting and singing with private coaches over the years. Locally, she's been involved in many Lakeside Little Theater productions, a few Naked Stage readings, and has produced The Fantastics, Gin Game, Cemetery Club, Always, Patsy Cline, and I, Claudia. Somehow she manages to find time to, she managed to start up a couple of theater groups of her own, including the Spanglish Imposition improv group. And she has a business with Tim Welch, driving cars to the border and getting them nationalized. Let's welcome the amazing Jayme Littlejohn.
Hi, I'm Jayme. I get a little nervous speaking in front of people, so
Yeah, right.
I just wanted to mention before I hand this over to some characters from my last show, Bravo, Claudia. They're going to talk for me today. I just wanted to mention that it was funny that I got introduced as a murderer, which I didn't know was going to happen. But I just did want to mention that the first show that I'm going to be doing this fall, in September, are 2 one-acts, black comedies, and they involve murder. And I think I'm the murderer. No, if I remember. Anyway, I want to hand over to some characters from my Claudia now. Like I said, I get pretty nervous. And there are 3 characters that I brought with me today. One of them is Claudia herself, who is the star of the show. She's a 12-year-old, just turning 13, with all the problems of puberty. Very bright little girl, but not very popular. And her parents are going through a divorce. So she's kind of a mixed-up little kid, but quite fun. And then there's the janitor at her school, Brockman, who has immigrated over from Bulgaria. And he's quite the character. He used to be the director of the National Theater of Bulgaria. And then there is Claudia's grandfather, Douglas. Thank you. I'm drying my hair out for my school photos. Yeah, you know those school photo packages? Yeah, I'm getting the one with me. Yeah, I get 6 wallet-sized photos. One for my mom, one for my dad, one for my best friend JoJo, one for my grandpa, and one for my dad's girlfriend, Leslie. Can you believe it? He's making me give one of my school wallet-sized photos to his girlfriend. And I have to write something on the back of it like, love, Claudia. Well, anyway, my hair is growing into my eyes, and so I've been getting eye infections. like the grease goes into my eye, and it causes an infection. But, yeah, well, they're okay right now. So I see you perfect. Yeah. So anyway, I guess I have to talk about Bravo Theater. And I have some visual aids. Not many. But later I want to talk about creativity and theater and art. Yeah. Anyway, that's what Jayme wants the process at Bravo Theater to be about. Well, what can I say? She's old, and adults are kind of weird and mysterious, eh? Yeah. So anyway, first of all, I have a chart to show you, well, it's a visual aid, really, to show you the difference between Bravo Theater and My Mind How Nice Productions. Yeah. Right there. Yep. Okay. There they are. My Mind How Nice Productions and Bravo Theater. You'll notice they both have an exclamation point in them. I guess that means they're emphatic. And then there's the Bravo Theater and My Mind How Nice Productions, and there really should be an arrow going up to it. Anyway, okay. So anyway, My Mind How Nice was started 4 years ago by Jayme, but she didn't have an actual theater then. No, she did shows like you mentioned, like the Gin Game and Cemetery Club and Always Patsy Cline. And people think that Always Patsy Cline has an exclamation point too, but it doesn't. It's got an ellipsis. Aren't you impressed I know that word? Yeah, me too. Anyway, okay. So we did the best we could with like the facilities and the talent and the equipment. We could beg, borrow, steal, whatever. And it all worked out pretty well. But now, with the fully featured Bravo Theater, which a bunch of very wonderful gentlemen and a couple of ladies helped build. One of them's back there. He helps with the sound. He's in that yellow shirt. He came up and did the meditation. Yeah, hi. Yeah, with a bunch of help, I have a fully featured theater now. And it's not quite as nice as, that big one over there. Anyway, it's got a sound booth and permanent lighting and sound, and it's got raised seating for about almost 110 people, and a backstage, and so now Bravo can be used by other people who want to do other things, like mean, well, if Jayme wants to do a show, she kind of gets the people first. And then decides on the show that they all feel passionate about doing. She likes that word, passion. and if she can't get people for the show, like a director that she likes, and actors that she likes, and technical and helpful people that she likes, well, then she just doesn't do the show. I'm not kidding. Anyway, no, we just canceled the show because the people they kept leaving town and getting sick. It was awful. Anyway, she knows that otherwise the passion won't be there. The people won't have the passion and the show won't radiate out to you guys like it should. That's kind of weird, right? Okay. Well, anyway, Bravo, if the creative team isn't complete, she just doesn't do the show. So, like a few years ago, she did a show that somebody's been trying to do for years. Peter mentioned him earlier, Roger Lexon, a professional. He's been trying to do the Fantastics forever. And he tried with different places and different groups and different people. And finally, we did the show. And it came out of his dream and the passion and the quality of the people involved. And I think it was pretty cool. Oh, anyway, okay, so I'm going to introduce the janitor for my show, my school now. He wants to talk about magic and some other boring stuff. Yeah. You know, I really like your haircut. You know, if you tell me where you got it cut, I'll give you one of my wallet-sized photos. Okay, Brockman, I'm coming. That's Claudia. She's a tough little kid. Yeah. So, creativity. Yeah, that's what Bravo is all about. There are a lot of former theater professionals here in town, and it's fun to play together and make some theater magic. But there is also the process of creativity that means creating new magic. So, at Bravo, Jayme hopes to build a roster of ongoing classes geared towards igniting that spark in people who've always wanted to tread the boards, you know? Right now, she has several ongoing classes, and she's working on building some more. The acting scene study class has already formed one performance to show how wonderful their growth is and how good they're getting. And there's going to be another performance this summer. And the improv class boasts a TV star. Yeah, she just appeared on the PBS special, the documentary. Maybe you've seen it about the nursing homes in Ajijic. Yeah, well, yeah, the Playboy. Yeah, the men know what I'm talking about. Anyway, Claudia's going to come back and she's going to talk about some improv right now. Yeah, okay. So improv is really fun and it's helpful for you and you can learn a lot of things about yourself and how to relate to other people because everything is yes and. So if you're in a relationship and your partner says something to you and you want to say you can say yes and you'd be surprised how nice your relationship goes after that. And I know not many people here are in business, but a lot of businesses use it too. But mostly it just helps you kind of think on your feet. Like right now, I'm not using the script because I'm changing everything. So I just think on my feet and I improv. It was kind of fun. Okay. Anyway, we play lots of games in improv and we have a lot of fun. And I would show you, but I don't think I have enough time. And I don't want her to come up on the stage and stand there. Okay. So anyway, now I'm gonna go back to my grandpa. He hasn't gotten out here yet, and he wants to talk to me. That's my granddaughter, Claudia. Old hickory dickory dock, that's tap in it. Hickory dickory dock. Tap, tap. That was it. She puts up a fuss, but she'll still do it for me if I razz her enough. Well, so speaking of tap dance, the tap dance at Bravo is grooming tap dance. It's just partially for fun and exercise, but also to help with casting. And here's where we get along really well. For a show that they're doing at LLD this year that has tap dance in it. And guess who's helping them get some dancers? Oh, they're good too. Yeah. Anyway, so we like to think that we're grooming some of the future stars of Lakeside and fulfilling the dreams of some of the folks who come here and have always wanted to do something on the stage. And some of those retired ladies that are quite luscious in their little dance clubs, too. So right now I'd like to see if we have any volunteers in the audience to come up and do a little tap dance number. Oh, I see something. Okay, we're going to move this out of the way. Oh my God, they wear their tap shoes, too. Okay, well, here's our tap to go in a guy too. Wow. The ladies think he's kind of cute too. Okay, here we go. Windows. Yeah, it's all about windows and tap dancing. Windows. She's a drill instructor. Okay.
What's your next production?
Yeah, there's two on X Place. One's called
You can hear this.
Two Sisters. Sorry. I can't read after that. You have no idea how hard that is. Anyway, but fun. Two on X. One's called The Way of All Fish, and the other's called Two Sisters. The first one is written by Elaine May.
And when?
It'll be in September. Oh, does anybody remember the date? Sorry, was I not supposed to say?
We'll look for it.
Okay.
No, we will look for it. Start looking. Yep. Well, what a marvelous production. Thank you. Peter, Jim, wow. And thank you, all of you, for coming. Please dispose properly of your cups and stack your chairs. And we'll see you next week, I hope. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Or some, or a small community can have a profound effect.
Wonderful initiative, wonderful idea. I think we cannot get discouraged. It's time for us to do something. And you've already mentioned a few alternatives and a few ideas on how to change this idea. But every time that we think, at least for me, every time that I think about a monarch butterfly, and I find that how strong their migratory cycle is and how strong of an organism it is, I get encouraged. I get excited about getting this to become a fad and thinking about the monarch as an iconic species even more, on how we as humans are affecting nature. So maybe it can be our motto, it can be our driving force, monarchs and humans, or how we should respect the monarchs by respecting ourselves, or something like that. But you're absolutely right. I think we cannot let ourselves get discouraged by this.
And you talked about the monarch, I'm over here to the about the monarch butterflies when they come in the mountains. We've been there in March when seen them flying. Now when they come in November and October, do you see huge masses of them? Tell me about it, because that sounds exciting.
Good. There are 19 sites that have been historically known to host butterflies. This year, only 7 of those had butterflies. The population dropped down so much from last year. I mean, I should tell you the story for the last 3 years. 2013, the population covered 1.19 hectares of forest. Then 2014, it was 0.67 hectares, less than a hectare. And then this year we saw a little increase. It was 1.13. But it's still very low. 1996, 20 hectares. As they come in November, you see them in large numbers, like clouds of butterflies. And they're all finding their spot. They're trying to find where to go. And every one of those colonies, every one of those 19 sites, has what it's called in Spanish, llano. It's a prairie. It's an area that's of volcanic origin and has not a lot of vegetation growing on it. And it's because there's a lot of, that's one of our ideas. There's a lot of heavy metals there from volcanic origin that might be creating that magnetism that drive them to go back to these areas, and then they find the forest. But we still have to prove this. We have to find out if there's something special in those llanos that make it so unique, so that they go back and say, oh, something here calls me, oh. And that's how they find it. So it's amazing to see them as they come in.
Okay, we'll have our last question now.
So my question has to do with GMO corn in Mexico. I thought it was banned.
It is banned.
So why is U.S. corn getting down here?
Oh, production of GMO corn is banned in Mexico. And that's a really good thing, because I think it was in the news recently. The court case, there's a local group of people fighting against the planting of GMO corn in Mexico, but there's nothing about importing GMO corn into Mexico. So it's being produced in the US and Canada, but it's because it's cheaper, because there's subsidies for the farmers in the US, and that corn is being sold to Mexico. And it's being used in Mexico for production of anything.
Okay, we have, I think, one last question. Right? Or that was it? That was it.
Oh,
Maybe he'll give you...
if there's more interest on this, I can put some websites on here and you can go look, or maybe you can write to me and we can start chatting or communicating. There's a lot more to know, and there's a lot more we can do.
Thank you so much. So come back next week for this biomagnetism talk, and bring your own coffee cup, please. And dispose correctly of your styrofoam ones and stack them